Gets me through my morning every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jodie and Hazy on Nova.
I'm not one who knows too much about fashion, jokes.
No.
But when you rolled in here for 2025 yesterday, you're either sporting a left moon boot or a giant Reebok pump. What's going on? And just on the left side.
Yeah, just on the left side. So sometimes life just doesn't pan out, the way you plan it.
Yeah.
I didn't plan to start 2025 with a busted foot, but here we are.
Welcome. This is your year.
Thank you so very much. I've spent too much time in a moon boot, as you would know, over the journey, and I'm a little bit over it. So what I have finally decided is that me and my beautiful lover, netball, probably need to separate.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
No.
I think the time has come in my late 30s where netball and I probably need to call it quits.
Oh, this is tough. This is really tough.
Anyone who's been through a breakup will understand exactly what I'm going through.
I'm so sorry that you have to go through this.
That's okay.
What I will say is, and I'm not trying to, add fuel to the fire. You're saying it's mutual. Netball is saying that they broke up with you.
Yeah, netball saying. So what I thought I'd do to make it at least feel like it was my decision is sit down and pen a heartbreaking netball letter to say, do you know what? You and I think we're done.
Oh, you poor thing.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
Dear netball, there's no other way to say this. You and I need to separate because you keep hurting me. And this week, you went ahead and you broke my foot. We've been together for decades and I've loved you for as long as I can remember. But just lately, I feel like you've been gaslighting me, telling me to keep going when you know I'm just not good enough or committed anymore. There's no amount of sugar-free Powerade and Voltaren 12.5s that can sustain this relationship. And hell, I didn't know that the end of our union would be Tuesday night netball at the ICA Stepney. Who knew? And before you ask, there is no one else. Except for the Thunderbirds, but nothing ever happened between the two of us, I swear. I'm going to miss you and our weekly dates. But you've put me in a moon boot once too often and I just don't trust you anymore. I will always love you, my Nettie. But this is goodbye for reals, or until my foot heals in time for the 2025 winter season. As always, netball, here if you need.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
It's such a beautiful way to end it as well. Here if you need. That's good. Oh my gosh, you poor thing. Are you okay?
I'm all right. It's actually quite painful. I did it just during mixed social netball. For goodness sake, came down and there was such a massive crack at my foot that the guy that I was playing against goes, "Oh God, time!
boy.
What was that?"
It's like a whip crack.
I know. And then I went and got an X-ray, and the woman who was taking it said, "Oh look, I should probably leave this for your doctor to tell you, but oh my God, big crack."
Yeah.
So that's it.
Jeez, that's not good. Do you know what I'm not going to miss?
What?
You turning up on a Wednesday. I'm so tired. Yes, I'm late. I had mixed netball last night and it didn't start till 9:45 p.m.
I'll call time on our relationship too if you're not careful.
Jeez. Hey, look, any condolence texts or anything you want to send through, please do so. 0400 919 919.
I'm being quite serious about this. If you've broken up with netball, if you've had to make the decision enough is enough, give us a call 13 24 10 and just cry with me.
Yeah.
Cry with me, baby.
It's fine. Our first text just came through. It's from your knees, and all it says is, you! Should we go to Salisbury? Good morning to you, Bianca.
Good morning, Hazy. How are you?
Yeah, going very well. Take us through it. You're going through a breakup as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So mine's been a long time coming. I've been like Jodie, had injuries and injuries. I've played for 14 years.
Yes, yeah.
And sorry?
And what was the final straw, Bianca?
I dislocated and fractured my elbow and needed a replacement.
Oh, my.
A dislocated elbow. So was it out and you had to put it back in?
Yeah, it was out, and then they tried to put it in 3 times and then ended up having to cast it, and then it didn't line up properly, so I had to have surgery.
Oh, and so you've delivered the news to netball that you're not coming back, is that right?
Well, the doctor delivered it for me, but yeah.
Oh, so did netball break up with you via a friend?
Yeah, I think so. That's the way I took it.
Oh, Bianca, you'll have to find something a lot less taxing on your limbs. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so Lexi from Findon, you've also had a breakup with netball?
I sure have.
What
It's very sad, I must say.
Yeah, it's devastating, isn't it?
It really is. I've had an ankle reconstruction about 4 years ago, and I'm awaiting shoulder reconstruction hopefully this year.
The word reconstruction and netball gets used far too much in sentences.
Frequently. Lexi, did this happen on a hard concrete court, or was it more a gentle indoor court?
No, this is a hard outdoor court. I play for Walkerville Netball Club.
Oh, goodness me. Actually, a very strong club. I hate
It's Walkerville Wildcats, isn't it?
No, that's the Adelaide Wildcats. That's my
sorry,
club.
Sorry.
Yeah. They're the Cats, though. You are right. Oh, Lexi, I'm so sorry to hear about your breakup. Hang in there, doll. Hang in there.
Jeez.
Thank you for your call.
So you guys can all mourn together.
Yeah,
that's the good thing. This is Phil from Freeling. He texted in saying, Jodie is the John Farnham of netball. She'll be back. It's a big retirement tour.
Oh,
I'm so sorry you're going through this, Jodes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, and everyone who called through as well. Thank you for sharing your heartbreaking moments that you've had with netball where it's gone pear-shaped and you've had to break up. And, of course, everyone who gets on air automatically goes on the standby list for Nova's Cash or the car.
The thing we start playing as we're young girls. So for a lot of people, it's a decade-long love affair with the game.
Oh, jeez.
And the next minute, it's over and you're hobbling around in an ugly knee brace.
Yeah.
Or an ankle brace.
And then next minute, 2 months later, late at night, maybe a Saturday night, you get a little text. Guess who it is? Netball. All it says is, you up? How are you responding, Jodes? You should ignore it. You should ignore it.
I'm just going to leave netball hanging with a couple of dots for a little while, just for about a minute or two and see what it does.
And then he replies again, WYD. What you doing?
I need to know. I need to know now.
I need to know.
I need to know.
I need to know.
What's in the news today?
I need to know this.
Here's what you need to know.
What you need to know with Jodie and Hazy.
I don't want to digress too much, but before we get into the fact that Craig Tiley has called for Novak Djokovic to be immortalised in statue form at Melbourne Park, can we touch, because we were away, we touched briefly on the Oz Open this year? I mean, I felt embarrassed. I felt embarrassed for the spectators sitting there booing everyone and everything. Like, I just thought it was a super poor reflection of us as a country.
I don't think it's going to look very good abroad.
No.
Is it?
No.
And in particular, I mean, Novak himself has had some issues in Australia.
Yeah.
With all sorts of things. And the latest claim that he was poisoned when he was in quarantine.
Yeah, that was interesting. My favourite part of the Oz Open this year was the American tennis player who was the absolute villain because she was playing in Australia.
Danielle Collins.
I love her. And she came out and she's like, oh, do you know what? Good on you for turning up, because me and my friends, we like yachts, we like five-star holidays.
Me and Coco Gauff, that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
So you can kiss my ass.
Is it wrong that I loved that?
No, I loved it as well.
It's like she embraced all the hate and just went back at you, idiots. You paid for a ticket to come and watch me.
Because there's nothing worse than the whole, well, I paid for a ticket, I can do what I want in the stands. Well, don't be surprised if an athlete eventually turns around and gives it back to you. Don't sit there and be like, you can't do that to me.
Yeah, and guess what? I go and buy a burger sometimes. It doesn't make me able to be an absolute shit human, does it?
100%.
Just because I paid $13.95.
Does put you in a pretty awful mood, though, some of the prices these days.
You more than most, you little tight ass.
Novak Djokovic, though. This is... are we about to have a very, very, very small debate?
Yeah.
Craig Tiley coming out and saying that he should be immortalised via a statue while he's still playing, still active and obviously still alive. I'm all for this.
Really?
The dude's won it 10 times.
Actually, that is quite exceptional.
10 times. I think I can comfortably say this, and by the time, if this does in fact prove me to be wrong, that no one will remember anyway, in the Open era, no one will ever win the Australian Open in the men's circuit again 10 times.
What about Sinner? He might. He's pretty good.
Well, he might be facing a little doping ban. So that's going to hold him back a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. But there is the argument, though, like, what's the point in immortalising someone in statue once they're dead? Like, if you were to put a statue of me outside Nova once I've died, like, what's the point in that? How am I supposed to feel good about myself?
Just to get a bit of an insight, do you think that's going to happen? Do you think there's plans in place? Don't worry about Fitzy or any of the heavyweights. or any of the OGs. It's got to be Jodie. Who saw that coming?
Okay, not me.
Oh, and just quickly as well, Jodes, if you're a TikTok fan,
Yep.
and particularly over there's so much uncertainty with what's going to happen with Donald Trump in charge. But there is talks that Microsoft may take over and buy TikTok, which would be a great result for the Americans.
How does that look in real time? So you want to get on TikTok, so Clippy just pops up in the corner.
Oh my gosh, Clippy.
Clippy just pops up and goes,
What about Clippy?
would you like to see the latest food preparation videos? And you're like, bugger off, Clippy.
No,
Not now,
Clippy.
mate.
How about the timing of Clippy throughout his short tenure? The bloke just never knew how to time himself into a social situation.
No, he didn't.
What about when you're a 13-year-old bloke on the farm and you've just discovered the internet, and it's like midnight and you know mum and dad's asleep and you think, I'm safe here. And then halfway through, Clippy pops up and goes, hey, what are you doing? Oh my God! And then the next morning, Dad comes out and goes, hey, mate, what? Why is Clippy crying and shaking in the corner? Don't know, Dad.
Warning, the following segment is for mature audiences only and may contain adult content, graphic language and nudity. Not that you'll see it. If easily offended, well, you're about to find out just how easily.
Your father, he's on the naughty list.
Jodie and Hazy's Naughty at 6:40.
Naughty.
Yeah, that's right. Block your ears because it's about to get wild in the Nova 919 studios.
And I'm about to degrade myself in just a moment. But have you ever asked yourself, why is it that when I walk into Bunnings, I need to do a poo? It is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And if you've ever wondered that, don't worry, you're not alone. Because people are asking the question online, what is behind the Bunnings bathroom urge? Why is it that the minute you walk into those doors and you see those beautiful men and women in the green aprons with the red Bunnings sign on it, that you're like, oh my God.
Is that it? Is it? It's specifically the men and women
No,
that work
it's
at
not.
Bunnings.
It's definitely not. It's not.
Is it the green polos that are doing it?
I'm not
Bunnings polos.
entirely sure. I will get to the science behind it in just a moment. But this is a girl called Lucinda Price. She's a podcast host, also known as Frooms. And she explains what happens to her when she walks into the hardware store.
I went to Bunnings Warehouse to buy a hammer, and as soon as I walked in, I just had this wave. I had this wave wash over my body that I really needed to take a shit. And this happens to me without fail every single time that I go to Bunnings Warehouse. And so I posted about it, and not kidding, I reckon 150 people messaged me saying that they have the exact same phenomena. But the most harrowing account of this phenomena came from an ex-employee of Bunnings. 5 times in 5 years did this man see actual human feces in the display toilets.
That's unbelievable. In the display toilet.
And I presume the display toilet is just open, right? Like, it's not like an actual portaloo, like a toilet.
No.
It's just like a dead set in the middle of the lighting section in Bunnings.
It would be. And when the seats close, you're like, oh no, it's happened again.
So apparently the science behind it is that there is a unique and profound relationship between the brain and the gut. So there's a guy called Dr. Zach Turner who said Bunnings is a sensory playground. Timber, fertilisers, potting mix and varnishes mingle with the unmistakable aroma of sausage sizzling outside. And these smells can stimulate the vagus nerve, kicking digestion into gear and creating that all too familiar
Oh my
urgency.
God. It's happening.
Is it just me, or do you live in fear of that need to go to the toilet immediately, if not sooner, in a place where you cannot?
Yeah, 100%. I like to be open because it's nice and early. I think I've got reasonably quite close. I crapped myself the other day. And it's always after a coffee. If it's 1 or 2 coffees, I think most people, once you have a coffee, it flicks
on,
the switch.
Isn't it?
It's game on.
Sometimes less than 2 minutes. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to regret asking this question. Where did you crap yourself, mate?
So I went for a run, and I was going past Glenelg, and I was 2 Ks by the time I got to Glenelg, and I was like, I'm in serious trouble here. And there was a public toilet there, but it was completely full for some reason. There was a line up So, and I hate to say it, and this is probably why they're going bust, but I had to go to a Chibo. I went to the Chibo, and by the time I got in there, some things had already happened.
Oh.
But it was all good. It was manageable.
Okay.
But since then, Chibo completely buggered.
Yeah,
ruined the whole franchise in one incident.
Well, I'll very quickly tell this story, and I'll probably regret it. But this happened to me the other day. You know that urge where you're like, I've got 18 seconds before I have to find a toilet, otherwise I'm in real trouble. The
way you walk as well is like real straight, arch back.
I was going to Pilates the other day. I drove 2 minutes from my house and I went, oh my God. And I've gone, screeched into the OTR, sprinted past the subway bit. I got to the toilet just in time. But do you think I made that Pilates class? Oh, no, I did not. There's a good 15 minutes in there.
Yeah, you needed a shower after that.
So every now and then my TV is naturally attuned to Channel 10 permanently, but I'll just casually flick over just to see what you're up to.
Or sometimes, I don't know, maybe the kids have just flicked stations for some reason.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Sometimes the kids grab the remote and play with it and, there we are, Channel 7 News. Anyway, you're sitting on the desk there about to rip into your sport and you're coming off the back of a story about Maslin's Beach. Tell everyone the contents of the story, please.
Oh, my gosh. So they do a thing every single week on Channel 7 called Flashback. It's done beautifully by Michael Smith. And this week was 50 years celebrating Maslin's Beach. And, of course, that is a genuine nude beach. There's a part of Maslin's Beach, if you're just finding out for the first time, where it's a proper nude area. And they're celebrating 50 years of nudeness.
Do you know what's cute about what you just said is you are working on the assumption that not everyone knows that Maslin's is an absolute nudist beach. Everyone's across that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well, yeah, I do. And it was quite shocking when I moved down here, because I moved down here in 2006. I never knew things like this actually existed. There's genuine legal areas for people to be nude.
Yeah. Have you ever ventured down there and thought, oh, you know what? I might get amongst this.
Okay, let me finish this sentence before you rip in. I was down there with the kids the other day.
What do you mean?
That's a true story.
What do you mean?
Because if you get away all the super, super old willies that are hitting you in the face down there, what you will see is it is the most gorgeous, one of the most gorgeous parts of South Australia. The cliffs that come down, like they're big cliffs that come down to the beach. So it is quite a popular spot to take photos. We took the kids down there about 6 months ago and we had family photos at around about 7 o'clock that night. We were fighting through all sorts of different willies, but we got through. And what I will say is technology these days with AI and editing things out, absolutely unbelievable. No, we didn't run into any willies.
Right.
But you've just got to get past the whole nakedness and realise that it's actually a gorgeous part of SA.
I just feel like of all the beaches in South Australia to have family photos, the very last one I would ever choose would be the only nudist beach in South Australia.
And all I will say, it is 100% my wife's car idea. Okay?
Really?
Not me.
Are you sure?
It was me. Because that's the other thing. If you ever go down to Maslin's Beach and you see what's going on there, I don't know if there's like an age limit, but it's almost like you've got to be 60 plus.
Yeah, okay.
So what's with that, by the way?
Is anyone going down to Maslin's thinking, I'm going to see some young hot things strolling along the beach? Is anyone under that misconception?
Yes, because if you do that, you're going to be really, really uninspired.
Yeah, and sadly disappointed.
Yes.
Saggily disappointed.
Saggily disappointed. Maths is going to be interesting this year because we already have a villain.
Oh, we do. His name is Tim. He's a PE teacher. So basically he referees dodgeball for a living.
Yeah, wears footy shorts to work. That's the dream.
That's him. Anyway, he's rocked up and he said, don't worry about this, guys. I'm genuine. I'm here for love. I will not pull the wool over your eyes. Neck minute. He's getting filmed after he met his lovely bride called Katie, who's 37 and just has a penchant for statement necklaces like a crocodile, like a lizard. She had a lizard necklace on last night.
Oh, nice. Stunning.
Yeah, and it matched his nose ring. So
good.
On paper.
Did he have a nose ring too?
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah.
And he's got things to say, does he? He's got some criticisms.
Well, he's got plenty of things to say about his new bride, who he was, needless to say, very unimpressed with because he stormed off after the ceremony, unbeknownst to Tim. Now, I mean, Tim, have you ever watched this show? Because we've invested 4 nights a week for the last 2 years in this show. you had cameras on you when you decided to go on a bit of a rant about your new bride. And guess what? It wasn't complimentary.
Yeah, and just picture this as well.
Yeah.
The camera angle from Tim is ages away.
Yeah.
So I feel like he thinks that he's in the clear and he's in the private.
Yeah, and he's like, this safe space, having a chat with the producer. She's got my back.
Yeah, she wouldn't dog me, bro.
No.
Well, guess what? She dogged you, bro.
Totally not what I wanted. Not good. I normally go just short, petite, blonde or brunette. Like Katie's, nothing what normally I'd go for. Just no attraction. There's nothing there. And I can tell straight away, and it's just sort of like, oh, I'm shattered. It was just like, as soon as I was up there, I was like...
The giveaway that he was getting recorded was when the producer went, we've got our villain.
Do you know what I don't normally go for? Someone who says she's nothing what I normally go for. That's who
Nothing what?
Nothing what I normally
Also,
go for.
poor girl watching this back. He's like,
my
I
God.
normally go for short, petite, and blonde or brunette. And she's a redhead. So it's like, of the three options, it would never have been her. You know,
And I
that's
saw
just
her the
brutal.
next morning, and she's woken up, and she's her whole face is tear stained, and she's like, he said that he wanted to sleep in separate bedrooms, and I'm like, oh, dull. And then it's revealed that she's come on the show because she's got self-esteem issues.
Oh, my gosh.
Love that.
Yeah, said she's been single for 10 years, so she thought that she would go find the love of her life via the experiments, guided by the experts. And we speak to John Aiken quite regularly.
He's
He's the most
lovely.
lovely bloke you could
He's so
possibly meet.
lovely, but I am now like, you guys, give it up. Give it up.
Also-
Give up the roost. You ain't on this show to match people so they can find true love. You are putting this show together to entertain us and to exploit people's vulnerabilities, like poor old 37-year-old single Katie,
Yeah, poor
who's got
Katie.
self-esteem issues.
Katie, how could you not see this coming, Katie? Wake up.
Do you even like John Aiken? Like, is he actually a nice guy, or does he just give you compliments every time you see him?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
a bit of both.
There's a bit of that. So he's playing you like a fiddle. He's gaslighting you by making you think that you're worthy and that he's a good bloke.
I'd be shattered if I was watching it back and there was secret vision of John Aiken talking to the producers being like, he's not my type. Let's talk Gen Z.
Yeah, headline for you.
No, I'm just joking.
Headline.
I'm just joking to the junior vice president of the Gen Z club, and that is producer Zoe.
Yeah.
me.
Headline for you. Gen Z are so incapable of cooking, they cannot even make an omelette. They branded that particular one-ingredient dish too stressful.
One ingredient dish as well. So we're not even talking about adding in ingredients.
No.
Just what, 2-3
scrambled
eggs?
So
Flip it and see how it goes.
Yeah. So nearly 2/3 of Gen Z adults admit they lack basic cooking skills, with around 61% saying they cannot make an omelette.
Stop looking at me. Everyone in this room
Wow.
looking at me.
You're the only Gen Zer
This
we've
is
established.
disappointing for my generation. We can cook omelettes, surely.
No, you know how to order an omelette on Uber Eats. That doesn't count.
Imagine how gross that would be by the time it got there.
I don't know that you two idiots should be speaking too loudly, because producer Flack, you admitted, and you're what, a millennial? You can't cook an omelette.
No, I've never cooked an omelette. I don't know how to.
That's embarrassing. Sorry.
Oh, thanks, Gen Z. Shush. I've never cooked an omelette. I don't know how. I cannot honestly tell you the last time I split
An egg.
Cracked an egg.
Right.
No idea.
Can you poach an egg?
I don't know what that is.
Can you throw an egg?
Did that a few times when I was younger. Absolutely. I don't know how to cook eggs. So I've seen you do an omelette. Do you do an omelette sometimes?
No,
for
I
breakfast?
do omelets every week. No, I do omelets I can do a frittata, but also omelets every weekend.
Right.
I love a good omelette.
Yeah, omelette's really good.
Omelets are so good. You chuck in some tomatoes, some baby
Oh,
spinach,
heaven.
bit of feta, some mushrooms.
Yeah. Tough,
Maybe
though.
if you're feeling fancy, some spring onions.
Whoa, la-dee-da.
You know what? You know what surprised me about you? Because I said, okay, if you want to poach an egg, get some of those silicone round egg holder things,
Yes.
right? And you said, oh yeah, like the things that, so you can do like star-shaped poached eggs. I'm like, no, that's a cookie cutter. That's a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Don't put a cookie cutter in the frying pan. How many times have we got to tell you that?
Okay, well, now I figured that out. But I remember in the third drawer down growing up, there was those things, and I thought they were all for eggs.
No,
Right.
so you've got poached egg-shaped Santas, have you?
For Christmas, absolutely.
Mum, can I have some star eggs? No, Alex, that's not a thing. 13, 24, 10, what can't you cook? Expose yourself or somebody else.
Yeah.
Because we're in a safe space. There's no judgment here. I'm so very thankful that I'm married to a lovely lady who really likes baking. Cara loves it.
Yeah.
But also, she's a very good cook.
Oh, she's a goddess.
I don't think she enjoys it, but she's very, very good at it. When I was single, oh my gosh, I would cook chicken. We'd cut up the chicken and we'd put it in the frying pan with a dash of oil, and you'd get the frozen veggies and you'd whack it all in there. The only sort of flavour that you would add to that would be salt and pepper.
No.
That's how you would live. That's how I lived for about 4 or 5 years. It gives you all the basic needs that you require to function really healthily.
No, I think, you know what, I've thought about it. I think there are two sides to Gen Z. There are the Gen Zers that are all over the TikTok recipes and Instagram recipes, and they're really good cooks and they're awesome. And then there's the useless ones, which we're referring to.
Yeah.
And I like to think they don't exist, but they do. My girlfriend's housemate, one of my friend's housemates, gets Uber Eats every single day. Every single day.
You're kidding.
So you've got no capacity to learn how to cook when you're just ordering in every day.
So I think, like, when I grew up, I had to cook. I was cooking family meals by the time I was like 13 because mum worked night shift, right?
Yeah.
So that was it. I had to, if I didn't cook, no one cooked.
Wow.
So no one ate. So, like, now I don't understand because all these young girls and boys, their parents all work. So how will you not
Uber
learn?
Eats.
Uber Eats.
Awful.
Wow.
Jeez, that,
Cooking family meals since I was 13. That sounds like the
just
start of a
picturing little
documentary.
Jodie.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
30 for 30.
Jodie, if I didn't cook, no one ate.
And that's just how we grew up.
Yeah, if I didn't jump on a bike and cycle, there was no electricity.
I used to walk 15 miles to school every morning. 13, 24, 10. What can't you cook? Expose yourself, maybe. Expose a partner. It's a really, really nice, safe space. But let's have some fun with this, shall we?
Yes, please.
Let's go to one of the most gorgeous places in the world, and that is West Croydon. Good morning, Rose.
Good morning. How are you?
Going well, Rose. Dobbin your son, please.
Well, he certainly can't cook eggs, but he was just staring blankly at the toaster one day, wondering how it works.
Oh, my gosh. Rose, how old?
He was 10 at the time, so not quite, but still, we should be able to make toast at that age, I would have thought.
Yeah, we're in that stage right now. So a 6 and a 4-year-old. The 6-year-old can make toast.
Well, yeah.
And I think the 4-year-old's getting close.
Well, I mean, how hard is it? You put the bread in the toaster and you push a button down.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think my 4-year-old was trying to put the toaster on top of the bread.
Yeah. Could not work out what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Did you know what I heard the other day, Rose, which was quite interesting? You know, when you put the number between, say, 1 and 5, I thought it was like how brown you wanted your toast. Apparently that's the length of time.
That's a big debate.
Isn't it?
Is it? It's time. It's definitely time, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Time equals brownness, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's a good point, Rose.
It's quite a
Yes.
stock standard equation.
Yes, thank you so much for your call. Jessie from the city. Hi, Jessie.
G'day, how are you?
Good. Is this you? What can't you cook?
I can't cook rice.
That's the one. Yep. Do you know what, Jesse? I'm going to go on a bat for you. When I was a youngster, finding my way, trying to find the love of my life, and we'd probably have rice with each and every meal, I couldn't cook it either. Do you have an issue with glugginess?
Yeah, or I burn the rice to the pot.
Yep. Same thing.
Yeah.
Rice comes out gluggy at the top and in an absolute crispy, burny mess that ruins your pan down the bottom.
Just got a little tip for you now, Jessie. So go along to Coles, purchase rice in a packet. It's all done for you.
That's the thing.
Peel off the corner of the pouch. 45 seconds, you're away, Dale. That's all you have to do.
That's what I've resorted to. But my partner can cook rice.
That's what it's about. That changed the ricing game forever.
Everything.
It changed the Bachelor game forever.
It didn't it?
Joe's last couple of days have been mind-blowing to say the least.
Yeah, absolute chaos outside the Magistrates Court yesterday as a group of alleged neo-Nazi representatives, can you remember, they marched down North Terrace on the weekend in a seemingly white supremacist protest. So they all faced court yesterday. The alleged leader of the gang refused to take bail, elected to stay behind bars as his protest against the judicial system. There was a guy called Joel Davis who is seemingly a member of this group. He confronted a police officer yesterday after he was accused of wearing a neo-Nazi symbol during the protest. This is an account of the audio or the exchange, the very heated exchange between him and a member of SAPOL.
You're not a legislator, you're not a judge, you're a police officer. You do your job according to the laws on the books. You don't make them up as you go. All right?
Let me know when you're done and I'll answer.
No.
Boom. Lost that one, champion. 1-0 SAPOL.
SAPOL 1. Neo-Nazi representative 0. Let me know when you finish ranting and then I will promptly arrest you.
And he goes, no.
No. And then another alleged member of the group detailed their plans to build a community in outback Australia, and this is what, according to him, that will look like.
Yeah, the boys would like to get some land out in a rural area and have white families raising our children together.
Oh, my God.
Where do we even start?
Yeah, where do you start?
Here's where I'd like to start. What women are you going to entice into outback Australia to procreate with you and create these little families? Because I don't know a woman alive who would actively participate in any sort of activity that would reproduce another human with you.
Yes, that's a very, very good call. And you'd hope so, particularly in this country. But I've mentioned it a few times now. I didn't know this sort of behaviour, these groups, this sort of ideology even existed in Australia. And even and you know that America's got so much going on and places all over the world, but this sort of feels like something from a movie, does it not?
Like Romper Stomper.
Oh my gosh, yeah, exactly right. But then there's probably a part of me that feels sorry for some of these blokes if they've come up with a childhood and if they can sort of trigger it back to a childhood where they're in such an environment where this is the place where they feel like they've got a sense of belonging. That's really, really sad.
Yeah.
But if there's no excuses down that path as well, and there's no excuses at all, but if they've come up through a reasonably sensible childhood, then this is, how do you explain it anywhere else that what a bunch of losers. What a bunch of absolute losers who feel like this is their best way to have a sense of belonging and get attention.
But also...
oh my God, you absolute knobs. Come on.
Yeah. I think you run into real trouble when you disempower people and they feel small, and then the only way they can regain that power is to find other people who feel the same way, and they join groups like this.
There's all sorts of groups. There's all sorts of friendship groups that you can feel belonging, and I'm talking all sorts of different hobbies.
Yeah.
It sort of feels like there's no excuse not to have friends now. There's someone for everyone. But if you go down this path, this has got to be the absolute lowest that you can get to. And this is on them. And they want to be all big, mighty and tough, and this is what we stand for. Boys, you're losers.
Yeah, but you think you're big men. Being a big man is having empathy for other humans. Being a big man is realising that they're all sorts of different shapes, colours of skin, of whatever that may be, and having empathy for other people and having understanding of other people's situations, not thinking that you are superior to them.
The sad thing is that, let's say, if it was generations back, then there could be an excuse for a lack of education.
Not
education now. And particularly these blokes are the type of blokes who would probably idolise YouTubers, etc.
Yeah.
And YouTube is a very, very good spot to find some correct information, but they choose not to. So it's pretty hard to make any sort of excuses except for, boys, you're losers.
Yeah, but you look at how Andrew Tate has embraced all the disenfranchised young men around the globe. That's exactly how he's done it. I look at it, it makes me sad because I look at life like, okay, good versus evil. It's a pretty basic concept. And looking at people like this makes me think that evil outweighs good, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, so and a question on this. Young kids, you got kids of all ages. And you've got kids that are 5-year-old, but then kids as well on the verge of entering high school. Do you talk about this?
Well,
or do you just try and wait for this to go away? Because I think that's what we are hoping that's going to happen. You're like, this is so ridiculous. It will go away, and these absolute vermin will eventually disappear.
Yeah, but I've got 4 young girls, and it's infiltrated schools to the point where they have to have education of young men in schools now to say, hey, you know what, that's unacceptable behaviour. That's unacceptable, those attitudes. And what do? Do I have to sit down my young girls and say, I'm so sorry that there are men out there in this world that subscribe to neo-Nazi philosophies? The mass killing of millions of Jews because of their religion, that's what they support. How do you even go about explaining that to your kids?
100%. I don't even know the correct lingo and stuff to have a conversation like this.
No.
I didn't think it was real.
No.
Are we too sheltered? But what a crazy world that we live in, Jess.
Yeah. Oh, well, hopefully the courts deal with them accordingly.
Yeah.
And and you don't even want to say go and congregate somewhere else. Don't congregate anywhere.
No. Yeah.
Please
sorry.
don't. Please just go away.
Look, Hannah, I can't stress this enough, boys. If you are listening this morning for whatever reason, you guys are losers.
I think you've got that across.
I think we put that across enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we get it.
I'll jump out.